All right, welcome. Today, we're doing something a little different. Think of it as a complete health checkup, but for your business. We're going to go on a hunt to find all those sneaky, hidden inefficiencies that are quietly draining your time, your money, and your resources.
So let's just get right to it. I want you to think about this for a second. Where is your business bleeding time and money? It's a really tough question, I get it, but it's probably the most important one you can ask. And the crazy part is, the answer's usually hiding in plain sight, just tangled up in the way you do things every single day.
I mean, does any of this sound familiar? Those repetitive, manual tasks that make you feel like you're living in Groundhog Day? Or how about those different software tools that just will not talk to each other no matter what you do? These are the classic symptoms of what you could call process sickness. It's all those frustrating bottlenecks and hidden costs that just drag everybody down. But hey, don't worry because we have a plan. A diagnostic plan to be exact. Here's how we're going to tackle this today. First, we'll find the pain points. Then, we'll map out the entire journey from a high level. After that, we'll zoom right into the specific activities. And then, get even more detailed and look at every single step. And by the end, we'll have a complete diagnosis that shows us exactly how to go from just analyzing the problem to actually taking action.
Okay, so first things first, we've got to find the process pain. And the way we do that is with a technique called the as-is analysis. It's a fancy name, but all it really means is looking at your process exactly as it is right now. The good, the bad, the ugly, warts and all.
All right, let's get into it. The best way to think about this whole analysis is like a funnel. It's got 3 levels. We're going to start really broad at the top with what we call the journey. Then we'll narrow it down to the activities. And finally, we'll get super granular and look at the individual steps. This structured approach is absolutely key to making sense of it all.
Okay, so let's start at the very top of that funnel. We're mapping the overall journey. This is like our 30,000-foot view, looking down at the big picture.
So what is a user journey? It's really just a main business process. Something big like your entire sales cycle, or the recruitment process, or how you handle project management. Just think of it as the complete story, from A to Z of everything that has to happen to hit a major business goal. But why start so high level? Well, it's crucial, because defining the journey sets the boundaries for our whole investigation. It tells us exactly what we're looking at. It forces us to identify every single person and every single app that's involved. It gives us that big picture view of the workflow, and it helps us create a list of the key activities we're going to dig into next.
All right, let's move one level down the funnel. This is where things start getting really interesting. We're zooming in on the activities. This is all about breaking down that big journey into its main stages or phases.
So, what do we mean by an activity? Well, it's just a logical group of actions that go together. I like this analogy. If the journey is the whole book, then an activity is like one of the chapters. So for example, if our journey is sales, a specific activity inside that journey might be send the weekly commercial recap.
And this is where it gets really powerful. Look at this. We're not just guessing anymore. We start collecting structured data. For every single activity, we're documenting everything. Who's doing it, what tools they're using, how often it happens. And, this is the important part, what are the actual pain points? What are the KPIs? We even rate how difficult it is. This is how you turn those vague feelings of, this is so frustrating, into actual, concrete, measurable data.
Okay, now we're going to the very bottom of the funnel, the most granular, most detailed part of the whole thing, examining every single step. This is the microscopic view. This is where the real aha moments happen.
So a step is just one single concrete task. It's the smallest piece of the puzzle. Like literally, copy the list from Notion to Outlook. That's a step. This is where the actual work gets done. And believe me, this is where all those hidden inefficiencies and amazing automation opportunities are just waiting to be found. And look at this table. It just shows you the incredible level of detail we're talking about. For every step, we're logging if it's manual, what data goes in, what comes out, exactly how long it takes, and what makes it difficult. Prone to copy-paste errors. And then the jackpot question. What's the automation opportunity? This, right here, is how you find the gold.
Okay, so we've gone through all 3 levels of our diagnostic funnel, right? We've done the journey, the activities, and the steps. So what happens when we put it all together? Well, you get the complete diagnosis.
We've done this deep 3-level analysis. Now, what's the payoff?
The payoff is this, a complete data-driven process map. Think about that. We've gone from a tangled mess of just guessing what's wrong to a crystal clear model that's built on real, actual, operational data. No more guesswork.
And just look at what this final report gives you. You get a full map of all the actors, tools, and timings. You get a really clear picture of all the costs and the difficulties. It'll even automatically detect the bottlenecks for you. And you get a complete as-is process diagram. It's literally the full health report for your business process.
But, a diagnosis is pretty useless if it doesn't lead to a treatment plan, right? So that's the final critical piece of this. We have to move from just analyzing to taking action. And that means using everything we've found to build a much, much better to-be process.
And this is it. This is the whole point. Just look at this transformation. The before, our as-is process, was manual, it was slow, it was full of errors. But the after, the to-be process we can now design, it's automated, it's fast, it's reliable. We're going from these mysterious, opaque costs to a totally quantified ROI, from frustrating bottlenecks to a beautifully optimized workflow. It's a night and day difference.
And the best part is, once you have this data-driven diagnosis, your next steps become so clear. It's no longer a mystery. You can build that ideal to-be version, you can prioritize what to fix first based on real impact, and you can start designing the automated workflows to make it all happen.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Now that you've seen how this whole diagnostic works, what's the very first process in your organization that you'd want to put under the microscope? I bet something already came to mind.